Welcome to Time Out for Marriage. One of the ongoing tasks of husband and wife moving toward oneness of mind and heart is to distinguish our differences and preferences from what is right or wrong. All spouses have differences. In personality, one may be more of an introvert, while the other is more of an extrovert. We have differences in upbringing. Perhaps the mother was more dominant in the home of the husband, and the father was more dominant in the home of the wife. We have differences in approach to life. One sees life from the lens of a half-empty glass, while the other a half-full glass. And then we also have preferences for foods, literature, music, what constitutes a clean home, and a host of other things. Sometimes we may see our own preferences and the way we do things as being the right way, because that is what we have learned and how we do things. I'd like to offer an alternative to a right-wrong approach, and that is to simply view our differences and preferences as such. So, when we encounter differences in how we do something or approach a circumstance, it may help to show genuine curiosity, even to something so seemingly unimportant as organization. So, when my husband, a few weeks ago, wanted to rearrange one of the kitchen cabinets, my first inclination was, you know what, I do most of the cooking in the house, and I think that means I can be responsible for the organization of the cabinets. But I stopped and I asked him why he wanted to do that and what difference he thought it would make. And then he made the change, and in fact, it's made my life in the kitchen a little bit easier. We also need to seek common ground before working through differences. So if husband and wife have different approaches to extended family events, it's helpful to acknowledge the common ground before making a decision about a particular event. Sometimes when we name and acknowledge the common ground, it makes the decision a whole lot easier. It's also helpful to honor our spouse's approach. So for instance, if one spouse is more expressive emotionally than the other, it is helpful if the less expressive spouse allows the one who's more expressive the space and the time to emotionally emote without criticism or ridicule or judgment, and for the more expressive spouse to not try and pry out emotions from the other. In closing, we encounter the other in our spouse and the beginning, and this beginning is throughout our marriage. The beginning of this awesome and wonderful task of seeking to become one mind and heart is to acknowledge our differences and preferences as they are, and not to see them as matters of right and wrong. Until next time.